Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing some problem solving over both additive and multiplicative relationships. So I gave you these problems to do, and I'm going to be doing half of them with you, and then you're going to do the other half. So if you start with this page, we're going to start with problem number 2 right here. And it says, which of the following could be used to describe the dependent and independent quantities of the graph? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to label our independent is down here in the x-axis, and our dependent is going to be our y-axis. Now we're also going to make a table with the points from the graph. Okay, now you can't see them very well, so I'm going to help you out a little bit. So we're going to start with 1, and we're going to go up to 4 right here. So that's the first one, 1, 4. Then the second one is 2, and then you go up to 8. So 2, 8. Then 3, and you go up to 12. 4, go up to 16. Okay, and we're going to stop there. Now again, in the table, we're going to label the x is independent and the y is dependent. Okay, so if I look at my answer choices, letter F says the dependent quantity is the number of pints and the independent quantity is the number of cups. Okay, now if you think, how many cups are in a pint? Well, 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. Okay, so if I look at my table, dependent is 1. Here's my dependent. Is this 1? No. Independent is 2. Here's my independent. Is this 2? No. So F is wrong. Then we're going to look at G. The dependent is the number of quarts, okay, and the independent is the number of gallons. Well, I know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So dependent is 4. Here's my dependent. Is this 4? Yes. Independent is 1. Here's my independent. Is this 1? Yes. Okay, so this is a possibility. For letter H, again, dependent is the number of cups, independent is the number of pints. Well, again, there are 2 cups in 1 pint. My dependent is 2? No. My independent is 1? Yes. But this one is wrong, this one is right. They both have to be right, so this is not going to be my answer. And the last one, dependent is the number of gallons, independent is the number of quarts. Again, 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Dependent is 1. Here's my dependent. Is this 1? No. Independent is 4. Here's my independent. Is this 4? No. So the only one that matches my table and my graph is going to be letter G. Okay? Now, the next problem we're going to do together is number 3 at the top. And again, we have a graph, so I'm going to label independent and dependent. And we're also going to make ourselves a table. So we're going to start at 0. 0, 0. Then 1, 2. Then 2, 4. 3, 6. 4, 8. 5, 10. And 6, 12. And we're going to stop right there even though it keeps going. Alright, so again, the x is independent and the y is dependent. Okay? So if I read the question, it says, which set represents all of the independent quantities? Okay, so if I look at my table, I only want independent, so I'm only looking for these numbers. These are the numbers that I want. I don't care about any of these. Okay, so let's look at letter A. Do I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, I'm missing the 0, so that one can't be it. Letter B, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one looks good. This one's not it. This one's not it. Okay. All right. Turn it to the back. Now, the next one I'm going to help you with is number 1 on the back. Now, this one is a little bit different because we actually have some points in quadrant 2. Remember, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Okay, remember the quadrants? So, again, we're going to make a table so that we can write down our points, okay? Now, we're going to start right here. The first point is, we look at our x-axis. This is -7. And all the way to -3. Then we have -2, +2. Then we have +1, +5. Then we have +4, +8. Okay? So here are the pairs from the graph, okay? And again, x is independent and y is dependent, okay? You always have to label those. So, if we read the question, it says, which of the number represents the dependent quantities, okay? So I only want these here. Okay, I don't care about these. I want the dependent. These are the dependent. So I'm looking for -3, +2, +5, +8. So let's look at letter A. We have -3, that's right. We have +2, that's right. But the third one is +1, and it's supposed to be a +5, so that's wrong. Letter B. We have -3, no, I have -7, so that's wrong. Letter C, we have -3, that's right. +2, that's right. +5, that's right. And +8. So C is our answer. Okay. The last question we're going to do together is number 2. And it says, Samuel uses the equation y is equal to 2/5 x to create the table of values shown below. Okay, so again, x is independent and y is dependent. Okay, so if I look at my equation, I am multiplying 2/5 times this number. Okay, so 2/5 times 1 has to give me this. Okay. So what is 2/5 times 1? Well, any number times 1 should give you the same number. So 2/5 times 1 should be 2/5. Well, this is a decimal, so is 2/5 equal to 0.4? Yes, it is. And how do I know that? Well, to turn a fraction to a decimal, you have to divide. So I'm going to divide over here. 2 divided by 5. Add a decimal and a 0. 5 goes into 24 times, and there it is. So 2/5 is the same thing as 0.4. So that one's right. Now it says, which dependent, I'm looking for the dependent quantity, is incorrect. What does incorrect mean? It means it's wrong. Which one is wrong? Okay, so we already checked the first one. That one was right. So let's do the second one. What is 2/5 times 2? Is it 0.8? Well, let's figure it out. I'm going to multiply. Now I'm going to use a separate sheet of paper. But if you can make it fit on here, then please try to do that. If not, then make sure that you bring the separate sheet of paper with you so that I can see the work. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 2/5. Now, when I multiply a whole number times a fraction, I have to put a denominator of 1. And then we're going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. So we have 4/5. And in order to change 4/5 to a decimal, I have to divide. So 4 divided by 5, put a decimal, add a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. So this is 0.8. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Let's try the next one, number 3. 3/1 times 2/5. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay? So, we have 6 divided by 5. Add a decimal, add a 0. 5 can go into 6 one time. Bring down the 0. 5 goes into 10 twice. So 1.2. Is that correct? Yes, that one's right. So we only have one more to check. 4/1 times 2/5. 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 5 is 5. So we're going to divide. 8 divided by 5. 5 goes into 8 one time. Subtract, that's 3. 6. So you should get 1.6. Do I have 1.6? No. I have 1.8 instead. So they want me to, which one is incorrect? 4, and I have to put it in my grid here. So 4 is a whole number, okay? Now it says which independent variable, okay? So this is my independent, this is my dependent, so I need to write this one, okay? This is the number that I'm looking for right here. How do I write 1.8 here? Well, the 1 is in the ones place, that's a whole number, and the 8 is in the tenths place, that goes after the decimal, and this is positive, so I need to shade in my positive, shade in the 1, and shade in the 8. And that's your answer. Now, make sure that you finish the last 4 problems, okay? And for number 3 here, you need to make sure that you label, this is independent, this is dependent, and then instead of X, they're using H. Instead of Y, they're using C. So you need to be careful with that here, okay? Same thing here. Make sure you label each one. Independent, dependent. Independent, dependent for all of them. Okay, because that will help you answer the question here. Okay? And the last one, same thing. They're not using X and Y. Instead of X, they're using R. And instead of Y, they're using D. Okay? And this is your independent, this is your dependent. Okay? So please make sure that you label all of that to help you answer the questions. Okay? And you can bring this tomorrow. Thanks.